Hi, welcome back to the channel, Garden Love in Zone 7A. We were just away for a week, so I wanted to walk with you through the garden so we can see what has changed in a week. It's so exciting. It's like everything has just been fast forwarded. So the first thing I noticed this actually before we left, it looks like the clematis is getting some wilt. Not all of it, but part of it. So I'll have to kind of trace this back and just cut out the sections. It really looks like it's the old wood or the older wood ones. So I'll have to go in and cut out all these, but the newer, I think, no, some of the newer one has it too. So hopefully the whole plant doesn't go down with the wilt, but I mean, it looks okay, but there's definitely some sections that are just done. So I'll have to go in and cut that out. Wilt is a disease, so it should be okay next year, but it's not going to be okay this year. But it's almost done blooming. This clematis, this Ville de Leon, will continue to bloom, but its first major bloom is done, so that's okay. Just one of those things. So right before we left, I added this Pop Star hydrangea here. And the color is just so beautiful. I don't think it'll stay this blue because our soil is not that acidic, but I do love, that's like my favorite color, and same with the delphiniums. So I do have a lot of cleanup to do, a lot of deadheading, weeding. I'm gonna get rid of these alliums. Some of them are just pulling right out, but what is this, Nandina has put on new growth. It's finally settling in. I was worried about it because this is a blush pink Nandina. I was getting worried about it because a lot of the leaves just weren't looking so great, but now it is putting on a lot of new growth. I have 4 Nandinas that I added this year, 2 pink ones and 2 lemon lime ones, and they're all looking great now. Okay, so let's see what else. Oh, these are the seed balls that I planted, and it's just growing really well. I can now tell that this is zinnia. This, I think there was poppies in there, so that'll be a poppy, and then obviously the cosmos, which will be really late bloomers and really tall right in the front of the garden, but that's okay. The peony that I moved has not changed at all since I moved it in, gosh, March or April, probably April. So I guess it's in shock, and I really took out a huge clump of soil too, so I don't know. Peonies are just so picky. Here's the other Nandina. Here's a daylily that's been blooming. This one is Happy Returns. This clematis is done. So you don't have to deadhead them because they do look neat, but I usually try to take off at least 50 to 75% of the spent blooms just to tidy it up. This one had a lot. I took off a lot already, but I'll probably continue to. And then I will show you the rose garden. It is such a mess right now. Let's see. All right, so the roses this one was in full bloom when we left, so a lot of deadheading to do. This one will rebloom. It's Oh So Easy Italian Ice, so it'll keep blooming, but so I'll tidy it up. You don't have to deadhead these. They're self-cleaning, but it just looks better when you do. And then this is Distant Drums. It was done blooming when we left, so I had already deadheaded this one, but it's coming out with more blooms already. And then this one was kind of in the same category as Italian Ice. This is Earth Angel, and it was in full bloom. And really, it still kind of is. Like if I deadheaded all these ones, it would still look pretty full. So I'll do that today. This is my little bonus rose that I got. This one is True Serenity. It has like gotten so big, grown 2 new canes. I bought a bare root rose and there was 2 in there. That's why I call it my bonus rose. When I went to open it, there was 2 totally separate plants. And this one was the smaller one, so it's gonna do great. We had a lot of strawberries, not just this one, but in our little strawberry raised bed. The kids went through and ate most of them yesterday, but we had a lot. I can put a picture on the screen. Let's go over to the pool garden. Okay, so inside the pool garden, wanted to quickly show you these salvia. I guess you could call it no, I guess I wouldn't call it a Chelsea chop, because these salvias had bloomed probably very early May, and then when they were done blooming, like when they look like that, actually even before they look like that, when the blooms were just really 75% done, I cut them all off, but I didn't just kind of do it. I didn't just lop it off like that. I left the side shoots because I could tell that more blooms were gonna be growing out the side shoots. Let me see if I can find one that, like this. This one here, when this is done, I just leave that because, okay, so like when this one is done, don't cut it all the way down, just cut off the bloom, because more blooms will come out of there. You can already see the little nub starting to form, and that's exactly what happened. All right, so pool garden is starting to get more color again after all the spring bulbs and the peonies, and there's just so much color in May, and then it's always a little green at the end of May and June. But I've been working on getting more color in for that early June color. Of course, petunias are always a great way to do that. And then the sedum, the bright chartreuse, always breaks it up, and then it's getting ready to bloom. These taller spikes will be little yellow flowers. You can already see some of them. And it's pretty, it's a kind of insignificant flower because it's not that different from the foliage color, but it's cool. So this is a Supertunia Vista bubblegum. And then we've got some scabiosa here. The lilies are all budding up. A lot of lilies back there. This over here is I think there's 2 or 3 liatris. There's 3. And then this is a millennial allium with buds on it now. The sedum that we did the Chelsea chop, I guess a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now, looking fine. Bee balm is also budded up. This one's starting to just get some little color on it, on the buds, so they'll be blooming this week. I also gave a Chelsea chop to my phlox back there, which is already, has powdery mildew already, so we'll see how that does. It might not bloom, but I've been treating the powdery mildew with baking soda. Some yarrow blooming back there. I love that pink yarrow. Coneflowers. The coneflowers were supposed to be pink, but they're just white, so. The catmint is looking great. Catmint is really good for color this time of year. And I added this Gora. I think I got this from the nursery this spring. I think that Gora typically blooms later. I don't think it'll always be in bloom this time of year. So we'll have to see how that looks in the garden in coming years. This one's so cool. I love it. This is Meteor Shower Verbena. It's a Proven Winners annual, and I just love it. I think it's so cool. I kind of wish I got a few more and just filled out this, once I take these alliums out or clean up the alliums, it would have been cool to have like 3 right in the front of this garden. But hopefully it gets bigger. But look, it's starting to bloom, and it's so cute. Okay, so here's the other one, the other Gora. Like I said, I'm gonna be weeding and deadheading today, so I will probably just chop off the whole top half of that plant, both of them, and see if it reblooms. All right, here's another example of my powdery mildew. I think it's our soil pH, why we just keep, I just always get powdery mildew. I know it lives in the soil, but I think the pH of my soil here just makes it come back again and again and again. It never dies. So the bee balm will have it too. I don't think it has it yet, but it will. The geranium is gearing up for another well, some blooms. Oh, and here is the other rose from True. I'll put it on the screen again. It has put on so much new growth. It was seriously so tiny. I can find a picture of that as well. And it's got one, two, I think I even saw a baby one there. It's got several buds on it. And it'll just keep going. So, and some new canes coming up. So I cannot wait to see this rose bloom. And it'll be pretty soon. This is the cat's pajamas, Catmint, the Proven Winners Catmint. This one is probably almost done. It's definitely past prime, so I'll probably just cut this one back also. We don't have any events or anything, pool parties planned at our house for the next couple weeks, so I'll do it now, and then hopefully it'll be flushed out by the time we do have anything coming up. This is the volunteer milkweed. It's been popping up for, I'd say this is probably the third year now. The first year I didn't really know what it was and I just yanked it. Second year I yanked it just because I didn't plant it, and then this year I just decided to stop fighting it and let it go. I'll have to figure out the best way to manage it, but we're just gonna let it go. So the Russian sage, this is denim and lace Russian sage, is getting buds on it. I'm so excited. I love this plant. I love how it looks. I think this is only the second year with this one. Oh, and it smells good. Some lilies back there that I moved from the front. And then we have like 16 of these liatris around the pool. I planted them as corms in spring 2022, and they've just gotten huge. It was just a cheap solution to fill all around the pool. Anyway, here we go. I wanted to add plants in these marble chips. So I just did, and I didn't know what would work because it was so rocky. And I didn't know how the soil was under there. I didn't know if it was like sand. So I planted these corms. They were cheap. I just thought I'll let them go. But they've done really, really well. And when they're all in bloom with the big purple spikes, they do look really, really pretty. I wish I had, I think it's a little too late because they are budded up now. But I wish I had done the kind of a Chelsea chop on these, because like when it rains, these will flop over and they'll be on my path here on the concrete around the pool. But that's okay, next year. So here is the little shade garden under the crepe myrtle. No changes here really. The lilies are about to open. These lilies were supposed to be, I don't know, like a beautiful pink and white lily, but they're just orange, like traffic cone orange. On the other side of the fence, behind the pool, I added this Vitex last year. I love how they look. So I put it kind of behind here, outside the pool fence, and it'll be really pretty. It'll grow, I think 12 to 15 feet tall and wide, and it'll be sort of a backdrop. So it is getting buds, and it grows a lot. It's very aggressive in one season. So when I planted it, gosh, I don't know if it was 1 gallon or 2 gallon. I planted it at the end of last season, and we're already probably almost 3 feet tall. And I don't have any experience growing Vitex yet, the Shoal Creek Vitex, so we'll see if it keeps growing after it blooms. And then I'm gonna limit up, since I'm kind of in this corner of my yard. I don't want it to be super wide at the base because I don't want to lose a lot of the area underneath of it. So I'll start limiting it up probably towards the end of the season once I see what it's doing. Okay, and coming across the back of this pool garden, no buds on the limelights yet. They don't bloom until mid to late July, so nothing yet. But here is the veggie garden, which really has exploded. Not this one as much as the other one, but oh, we actually have a tomato. I didn't even notice this yesterday. Our first black crim tomato in there. A couple peppers on there, which I should probably just take off because the plant is so tiny. Yesterday when we got home, I had so many blueberries. This plant was loaded. I'll put a picture on the screen. This branch was literally like hanging down. It was so full. So came out, did a big blueberry harvest, and the kids enjoyed them. That's the jelly bean blueberry. And our cherry tomatoes, I don't see any. Oh yeah, little tiny baby tomato right there. So it's awesome. The cucumbers did die. Not sure what happened to them. And the zucchini has powdery mildew. I'll treat everything today with a baking soda and water mixture. And then I need to get in and prune off the leaves at the bottom that were just super damaged by bugs. But we have zucchini down there. Right there. And we have the beans are blooming. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I guess I should the best thing to do would be to move my oregano to that corner. I was gonna put basil in that corner, but I've just been growing basil inside. It's because it needs so much water, so it's easier just to keep it inside. So I think I'll move the oregano and just let these beans go. I'll do that today. But yeah, everything in here I'm happy with. Still have a backup cherry tomato here, but I think I can take that out now. It grew from seed, so I let it go, and then I gave the other one to my mom. Look at the flowers. And another zucchini on that one. And then we do have some male flowers too, because there's, I could probably pick them off and eat them, but I think that's a male flower. And that's a male flower. So no zucchini on them. And then more blueberries that aren't as ripe. More blueberries under here. This is the pink icing variety. And then I think the only area we have to look at is behind the garage. All right, this is behind the garage. This clematis is just looking so good. A little wild, but pretty. We have a hydrangea there coming into bloom, getting smothered. Once this clematis slows down, I'll come in and just cut it back, at least to free up the plants that it's eating. Little Astilbe here blooming. That's a new catmint I just planted this year to fill out that corner. And then the lambs here, I'm gonna come in and just cut off all those blooms because they're not really pretty. Daylilies getting smothered. Hosta back there getting smothered. Even my rhododendron. And then on this side, the yarrow is starting to bloom. I should have done a Chelsea chop on the yarrow as well. This orange variety, I think won't get quite as tall, but this one back here is yellow and it gets really tall, like 3 feet. This crepe myrtle, it's a shrub type of crepe myrtle. It also has powdery mildew. I've already treated everything with powdery mildew twice, so we'll need to do it again. And then this Gara, this hot pink Gara, I bought accidentally. I thought it was the white one, and when I got home I realized it was different, but it is so pretty. I love it here. And what else do we have? We have my sweet potato that is growing. A little fern back there, and then my sunshine ligustrum. And then right behind where I am standing, is my little limelight and arborvitae row here, which I just added this spring. I didn't add the plants. The plants were here, but they were kind of just sitting in the grass. They were sitting in the grass like that, and it just looked terrible. So I made it a real bed, and I want to keep going down the fence a little bit more and probably add a few more little things in the front and include this holly. Actually, this holly needs to move into the corner, and then we can include the holly. So I really have quite a few more garden jobs to do, but that's okay, it all gets done. Okay, quick look at the pots on the patio. This super petunia pretty much looks the same as before we left. I've been waiting for it to fill in that area, and it's just not really doing it yet. The strawberries were loaded when we got home. Here's a couple little pots looking really pretty. This one is straw flower and portulaca. Super petunia Bordeaux. Totally filling that pot in, loving it. And then this geranium really like doubled while we were away. I'm so happy. It's a cascading geranium, and then I just put in a Super Bells, I think it's called, Over Easy, little yellow center. That's how we're looking now.